Well, the ring is full of people right now, and they're getting ready for this event, and Boyd Pierce knows all about it, so let's pick him up.
This event, 2 out of 3 falls, 1 hour time limit. In the blue corner, at 265 pounds from Austin, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, the living Stardust American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And across the ring, James J. Dillon presents the world's strongest man, Ken Patera. Your referee, Danny McShane.
So you have Ken Patera, the world's strongest man, facing the great American dream, Dusty Rhodes, one of the most colorful people in the sports world today, and a man who is just known as the American dream no matter where he goes, and he goes to plenty of places. He has flown in for this match. He flew in from Japan to New York's Madison Square Garden, and then down here for this battle. And we have Ken Patera trying to divest himself of those fancy blue pants that he has, and the crowd giving him the wolf whistle that accompanies such a gesture. So Dusty's the blonde with the white boots, and Patera's the blonde with the dark boots. You'll be able to tell them apart from their wrestling style. There is no question about that. Patera may have more muscle, but I want to tell you, nobody beats the spirit of the Big Dust from Austin, Texas. Referee is Irish Danny McShane, and here are two of the top people in wrestling all across the nation. Side headlock for Patera. Patera, a man who competed in the Olympics for the United States of America and would have won a gold medal except for a knee injury, and who has since competed in strongman stunts that have won him the right to be called the, they want to call him the world's strongest man. We know that he's the strongest guy in wrestling, I can tell you that. Side headlock. And Patera takes over to grab him and to squeeze him. And Patera can put on a mighty, mighty squeeze. He's got a lot of stuff with which to do it, no question about it. And Patera is hollering to Dusty to quit. And Patera is a man with plenty of mouth. He can do his own talking, and he really gives the psychological idea to the man whom he is wrestling. He puts the thought in his mind that he could get out of a squeeze like that just by quitting. Sometimes it works. It has not worked on Dusty. So Patera comes up there to try to cut him apart. The dust suddenly springs to life, and in the background, James J. Dillon was trying to give a signal to Patera, and that signal was come over and listen to, he was just telling him to listen to the advice of the sage on the outside of the ring. And Patera that time decided that outside the ring was a lot better than being where he was. You saw him squirm toward those ropes, and Dusty had the right bit of leverage to snatch him right back in the ring. Arm bar for Dusty as he pounds him down to his knees, and this crowd here is pro Dusty Rhodes, and they are screaming their approval of everything he does, and he's doing well now. He hung right on to that as he tried to use the hip lock, Patera did, but Dusty just hung on in good fashion, and Still got the hold. McShane gave the option to Patera that time and told him he could quit if he wanted to. You see Patera's doing the turn in there, and that big arm of Patera's pulled up there behind its normal way of going, and Dusty keeps the pressure on. There's the push now back against the ropes. This will be broken by referee Danny McShane, but it's how Patera breaks that is of the utmost interest. Outside, Dillon looks pretty well pleased with himself that he has managed to give Patera the option there. From the outside, he was trying to distract Dusty. And Dusty now, with that peculiar stance of his, that double whammy that he likes to deliver, and the wallop to the head that can fell an ox. And in this case, I would say that the word ox was well used, because this boy Patera, with that huge body of his and that ability to put those muscles to good use, is as formidable as an ox. Patera comes from a sports family. His brother Jack Patera, is the head football coach for the Seattle Seahawks, who burned themselves in the memory of the Oilers this year. And there is a front headlock now for Ken Patera, the world's strongest man. And he puts it in there with a lift and a twist. Notice Dusty, he's destroying his balance. He's lifting up that leg, trying to give Patera something to worry about. And that swinging blow is hitting Patera right in the thigh muscle. And that's the way to raise a Charlie horse. So Dusty pounces in. Dusty takes a leg scissor. He's got that leg tied up nicely. He's got his weight in on the upper part of the leg, and Dillon on the outside. Dusty is trying to get Dillon to sit down. Dillon has come clear around the ring here to raise a storm of protest from fans and from Dusty Rhodes. Patera telling somebody off. So it's, oh, he come up there with a hard driving knee into the midsection. Here is a reverse chin lock. And Patera has his own way of applying this. He's got forearms big enough to be able to clamp down on Dusty Rhodes. So Patera puts the big squeeze on. That's all you can call this, is a big squeeze. He's got a good scientific way of doing it. He's got the forearm up against the side of the neck on one side of the head and a little bit higher on the other, but his arm is almost as big as Dusty's head when it gets squeezed up against it. Now the grip has changed. There's a whip to take him down on the canvas. The Dream, Stardust. And this right now, he is fitting right into everything that the fans have to say about him. He loves to use that bionic elbow. This Patera is tough. He is a rugged, solid customer. There's the crotch, the lift, the slam, and it puts Patera into a good position. He's on top for a pin. He didn't get the pin, though. And Patera's trying to set him up. And he got set up himself. Here is the Dusty with the elbow. We could have it. We've got it. We've got it. The first fall goes to...
8 minutes, 28 seconds, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, Dusty Rhodes takes the first fall with a good display of being aware of what was happening. And he is now one fall ahead in spite of Jim Dillon's efforts to confuse the situation. So we tell you that it's one fall for Dusty. There are still another fall or two to come. We'll be back here for them right after we have this word from the studio. Up in the ring, you see Jim Dillon firmly hidden behind wide-shouldered Ken Patera, and Dusty Rhodes chased him there. Now we count the countdown for the intermission. 5. There is the bell now for the start of fall number 2, and Dusty Rhodes is one fall ahead. And as Dusty moves in, he is moving from a feeling of confidence because he has chalked up that first fall. And here is Dusty with that socking wallop of his, and as he comes out on the floor to take after Patera, he is able to pound away at him and to drive his bionic elbow where it'll do some good. So Patera heads instinctively up to go in the ring, and Dusty aims that elbow again at the world's strongest wrestler. Fans here from Tampa, Florida, screaming to Dusty to let him have it. And he's sounding off about how they have cheered for him all over Florida, and he is just as big a sensation in Florida as he is in New York's Madison Square Garden. His Patera, he was set up, but Dusty didn't make sure of it before he went into that crashing effort to apply the elbow. Here is Patera, a big man like him going into the whoa, and here, a big man like Patera, who has all that strength to use, does not generally climb ropes and go jumping at targets. In this particular case, he didn't get a chance to jump. He was slow going up on the turnbuckles, and Dusty was fast in taking him off the turnbuckles. In behind Dusty Rhodes. That's a chin lock you see now. And he's able to use the leverage of his forearms, but now he's just getting a straight pull and using his weight up against Patera as part of the hold. There's the call for the break. And Patera did not break. You saw him take that leg and move outside, and slamming it against the ring apron that way is a good way to inflict injury, I'll tell you. So Patera this time is back in that ring in a jiffy. You see him with the leg which he has worked on, and Dusty is in a bad spot right now. Patera working on the knee, and Dusty is being told he can quit if he wants to. The fans starting to beat a rhythmic applause and telling Dusty they're behind him. You hear him pounding on the floor and on the chairs and pounding their hands together, and Dusty is caught up solidly in the fervor of the fans as they try to get him to go to it. They are screaming for him to come out of this and to stay ahead of Patera, to score a fall. So fans hollering for Dusty to give him the elbow, but Dusty's not in a good position to give him an elbow. He can hurt himself if he starts throwing his weight around too indiscriminately and twisting that lower part of his body. So Dusty's behind. Dusty's got a chin lock, and Dusty is pulling up on Patera's head with the hope of making Patera let go of that ankle which he holds in ransom. but he still got it. The move is all Patera. The Big Dust is using his foot to try to pry the hand and arm of the strong man off of his toe, and it may work because Dusty's leg is likely to be stronger than the arm of Ken Patera, and it was, at least temporarily. So Dusty now stays in behind. Patera keeps working on that. He hopes he's going to be able to slow down the Big Dust. And now as Dusty turns him over, he's got him down. He used his own leg. The 5-minute mark has been reached. He used his own leg to turn him, the one that was held, and then he applied a body scissor and had him doubled up. But Patera was able to get out. Now he's in position to give Patera trouble right between the eyes. Patera pounding. Here, rather, Rhodes pounding, and Patera trying to avoid it. Ooh, he hit solidly, and Dusty was all wound up there and couldn't unwind. He had started to throw that. Well, here comes Patera. He's going to try it again, and try it again he did. He's going after the neck. I tell you, he's a great guy for working on somebody's neck. And full Nelson. And he reached, and Dusty Rhodes just took off of the ropes just as fast as he could. There's another effort, full Nelson, and Dusty makes that quick move, that fast move to the ropes, and that's about the only way you can break that thing with a man as strong as Patera is. And if he uses it too long, you are going to be in deadly trouble. There's a bear hug as Patera puts the pressure on it, and this could be it. Fans are screaming for Dusty to belt him, but he's not really in a good position to belt him. He's saying no, 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 and Patera puts the squeeze on, and look at the way those arms stand out on Patera. Just look at the pressure he's putting on there, and the way you can follow those muscles right up his arm. But that is a man he is squeezing, and that man is feeling the pressure of that arm. He caught him right again between the eyes, and there he comes again to bear hug him, and Patera gets the big squeeze, and Dusty is looking now for something he can do to put it down. He may be out. He may be out, and Patera now, as Dylan is hollering, turn him over. Dylan is trying to give him orders and give orders to Patera. There's one. There is one, and there is two. And Dusty managed to fight his way up, but only to his feet, and Patera bores in. And there it is. He comes in again with a big squeeze, and Dusty's having his problems. There he goes down again. It's not easy to escape from the relentless squeeze of a man as strong as Ken Patera. The bear hug is one of the oldest moves in wrestling, a caveman type hold. This is the way that men wrestled when they knew no holds. They just squeezed the man into submission. That arm stayed up. That means that the Big Dust has something left. Now he's starting to move all of his parts together, and he smacked him. Both forearms clobbered on an ear, and Patera is back again. Rhodes got out. Rhodes is likely to be there it is. There is the second fall, and it goes to Ken Patera. We'll be back here in a moment after this word from the studio. So the bell starts for fall number 3 as Ken Patera moves in to start clobbering Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty comes to life in a fashion that shows that he, in spite of the harassment he was suffering during the intermission period, he was recovering from the bear hugs that put him down to defeat in the previous fall, in the second fall. Falls are even. This is the third fall. This is the one that counts. And the winner of this match, this fall, is the man who wins the match, as Ken Patera keeps pounding away at Rhodes. And Rhodes, watch that Jim Dillon in behind Dusty Rhodes. And here he is hanging on Dusty Rhodes and trying to keep Rhodes from getting back in the ring. And Danny McShane saw it. Danny McShane saw what happened. Danny McShane has disqualified.
Danny McShane awards the match to Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes was being held on the outside. Dillon was hoping he was going to be counted out. He was not. Instead, it was a disqualification for Ken Patera, the world's strongest man, and the winner is Dusty Rhodes. We'll be back with you in a minute, right after we have this word from the studio.